Dear students, in the last class, we saw how the narrator had made friend with the grey squirrel on the banyan tree and how the banyan tree was the noisiest place during the fig season. Okay, now let us continue. Halfway up the tree, I had built a small platform on which I would often spend the afternoons when it wasn't too hot. I could read there, propping myself up against the bole of the tree with cushions taken from the drawing room. Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, the Mowgli stories, and the novels of Edgar Rice Burroughs and Louisa May Alcott made up my bag of very mixed reading. When I did not feel like reading, I could look down through the banyan leaves at the world below, at grandmother hanging up or taking down the washing, at the cook quarreling with the fruit vendor, or at grandfather grumbling at the hardy Indian marigolds which insisted on springing up all over his very English garden. Usually, nothing very exciting happened while I was in the banyan tree, but on one particular afternoon, I had enough excitement to last me through the summer. That was the time I saw a mongoose and a cobra fight to death in the garden while I sat directly above them in the banyan tree. It was an April afternoon, and the warm breezes of approaching summer had sent everyone, including grandfather, indoors. I was feeling drowsy myself and was wondering if I should go to the pond behind the house for a swim when I saw a huge black cobra gliding out of a clump of cactus and making for some cooler part of the garden. At the same time, a mongoose, whom I had often seen, emerged from the bushes and went straight for the cobra. In a clearing beneath the tree, in bright sunshine, they came face to face. Cobra knew only too well that the grey mongoose, 3 feet long, was a superb fighter, clever and aggressive. But the cobra was skillful and experienced fighter too. He could move swiftly and strike with the speed of light, and the sacs behind his long, sharp fangs were full of deadly venom. It was to be a battle of champions. Hissing defiance, his forked tongue darting in and out, the cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground and spread his broad, spectacled hood. The mongoose bushed his tail. The long hair on his spine stood up. In the past, the very thickness of his hair had saved him from bites that would have been fatal to others. Okay, dear students, let's see what does that mean. Halfway up the tree, I had built a small platform on which I would often spend the afternoons when it wasn't too hot. So halfway up the tree, on the middle of the tree, the narrator had made a small platform, just like a tree house. ആ മരത്തിൻ്റെ മുകളിൽ ഒരു ചെറിയ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം കെട്ടിയിരുന്നു നെറേറ്റർ. and he would spend the afternoons when it wasn't too hot. And he would spend the afternoons when it was not very hot. ചൂടില്ലാത്ത സമയത്ത് he would spend his afternoons on the banyan tree. I could read there. He would read books, propping, supporting, ചാരിയിരിക്കുക. Myself against the bole of the tree, trunk, തടി of the tree with cushions taken from the drawing room. And I will take the cushions, the pillow, cushions, തലയിണ, from the drawing room. Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, the Mowgli stories, and the novels of Edgar Rice Burroughs and Louisa May Alcott made up my bag of very mixed reading. Books which he read were Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, the Mowgli stories. They are children's classic, കുട്ടികളുടെ പുസ്തകങ്ങളാണ്. And novels of Edgar Rice Burroughs and Louisa May Alcott. And he also read novels of Edgar Rice Burroughs and Louisa May Alcott. They are the stories of elder people, മുതിർന്നവർക്കുള്ള പുസ്തകമാണ്. Made up my bag of very mixed reading. So I was reading mixed books of children as well as books of grown-ups. വലിയവരുടെയും കുട്ടികളുടെയും പുസ്തകം ഒരേ സമയത്ത് വായിച്ചു. When I did not feel like reading, so sometimes I did not feel like reading. I don't like reading. I don't like to read. I could look down to the banyan leaves. What would I do? I would look at the world below me through the banyan leaves. And what all things can I see? Grandmother hanging up or taking down the washing. Grandmother will either be hanging the washing or taking down the washing. Clothes after washed. She is either putting it for drying or taking it back after drying. തുണി ആറിടുക. At the cook quarreling with a fruit vendor. Quarrel, fight. We have come across the word in the first part. Squabbling with each other. Squabbling, here it is also quarreling with each other. So quarreling with each other. The cook quarreling with a fruit vendor. So the cook, pajakaran, is quarreling with a fruit vendor. Vendor is the person who sells things. So fruit vendor, a person who sells fruits. Grandfather grumbling, complaining about something in a bad-tempered way. Pirubirukuga. At the hardy Indian marigolds, hardy, capable of withstanding adverse condition. മോശമായ സാഹചര്യങ്ങളിലും വളരാൻ കഴിയുക. Indian marigolds, this is the Indian marigold, which insisted on springing up all over his very English garden. So this Indian marigold was springing up, means growing up, തളിർത്ത് വരിക, all over his very English garden. This is the English garden. It looks very beautiful. And in this, the Indian marigold won't look so attractive. Indian marigold does not fit in this English garden. Indian marigold English gardenil കാണാൻ ഒരു രസവും ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. So he was grumbling at the Indian marigolds. Usually, nothing very exciting means interesting. Nothing very interesting happens while I was in the banyan tree. Usually nothing very exciting happens. Nothing very interesting happens. Interesting നടക്കാറില്ല. While I was in the banyan tree. But on one afternoon, I had enough excitement, a feeling of great enthusiasm and eagerness. So I had enough excitement, ആവേശം, to last me through the summer, that I could remember throughout the summer. That was the time I saw a mongoose and a cobra fight to death. So it was a time when I saw a mongoose and a cobra fighting to death. So the interesting thing which happened when he was on the banyan tree was a fight between a mongoose and a cobra. And they fought till one of them died, while I sat directly above them in the banyan tree when I was sitting above them on the banyan tree. So it was something very interesting which happened in my life, and I can never forget it. ആ മംഗൂസും കോബ്രയും തമ്മിലുള്ള യുദ്ധം എൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ മറക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്തൊരനുഭവമായിരുന്നു. So now he's going to tell about the fight he saw between the cobra and the mongoose. It was an April afternoon, so it was the month of April, and the warm breezes of approaching summer had sent everyone, including grandfather, indoors. So everyone was inside the house because it was going to be summer. So they did not like to move out as it was very hot. So grandfather was also inside the house. I was feeling drowsy, sleepy, urakandunga myself, and was wondering if I should go to the pond behind the house for a swim. And I was thinking whether I should go to a pond, kolam, behind the house for a swim, Nienduga, because he was feeling sleepy and he was bored. And at that time, he saw a huge black cobra is a snake, gliding to move easily without stopping and without effort or noise. So he was moving without stopping and without effort or noise, gliding out of a clump. Clump is a small group of trees or plants growing together. ഒരുമിച്ച് വളരുന്ന ഒരു കൂട്ടം ചെടികളാണ് clump of cactus. This is the cactus plant. Clump of cactus, and making for some cooler part of the garden. And this squirrel was going to some cooler part. It was summer, and the place where he was hiding had become hot. So it was coming out in search of some cool part. At the same time, a mongoose, whom I had often seen, emerged from the bushes. At the same time, a mongoose, whom I had often seen in the garden. The narrator had seen this mongoose in the garden. Emerge means come out, from the bushes, and went straight for the cobra, and went straight to attack the cobra. Cobra ആക്രമിക്കാൻ പോയി. In a clearing beneath the tree, clearing, open place, തുറന്ന സ്ഥലം. Beneath the tree, in bright sunshine, they came face to face. They came in front of each other. രണ്ടുപേരും മുഖാമുഖം വന്നു. Cobra knew only too well that the grey mongoose, 3 feet long, was a superb fighter. Cobra knew one thing. What is it? The grey mongoose, who was 3 feet long, the grey mongoose was nearly 3 feet long, was a superb fighter, was a very good fighter. Clever, he was clever, intelligent, and aggressive, ready to attack, ആക്രമിക്കാൻ തയ്യാറായി നിൽക്കുകയാണ്. But the cobra was skillful, expert, and experienced fighter too. The cobra was also skillful and experienced. He could move swiftly. Swiftly means very fastly, very quickly, വേഗതയോടെ, and strike with the speed of light. Strike, attack, ആക്രമിക്കുക with the speed of light. And the sax is the bag, sax, sanji. Behind his long, sharp fangs is the teeth of the snake, were full of deadly venom, poison. So the teeth of the snake was filled with poison. So behind the teeth there were bags, and in that bag there was poison. It was to be a battle of champions. It was to be a battle of champions, fight. So what he was going to see now was a fight of the champions. Hissing defiance, opposition, edirppu. His forked, having a divided or prolonged end or branches. Have you seen the tongue of a snake? Navu. Have you seen the tongue of a snake? പാമ്പിന്റെ നാക്ക് കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? It is forked. It is divided. Darting in and out. Darting. Move or run somewhere suddenly or rapidly. It was darting in and out. It was coming in and out. The cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground. The cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet raised uyartuga. 3 of his 6 feet off the ground. So the cobra was 6 feet long, and from that he raised 3 feet. 6 അടിയോളം നീളമുണ്ട്, അതിൽ നിന്ന് 3 അടി ഉയർത്തി. And spread his broad spectacled hood. Broad, big, spectacled hood. This is the hood of a snake. Spectacle, Kannada. Spectacled, the eyeglasses. So here it looks like an eyeglasses. Kannada. Spectacled hood. The mongoose it raised its tail. The long hair on his spine stood up. Spine, backbone. Spine means backbone. The long hair on his spine stood up. In the past, the very thickness of his hair had saved him from bites that would have been fatal to others. So in the past, earlier also, the snake and the cobra had fought. And this thickness of the hair had saved him from the bites of the snake that would have been fatal, causing death, maranakarana. So this hair had saved him from the poisonous bite of the snake. Okay, dear students, now let's have some questions to understand about the lesson which we have just taken. How did the boy make the spring season exciting for himself? How did he make the spring season exciting for himself? Reading books, then watching what happens under the tree. This is how he made the spring season exciting for himself. Next question. What was the incident that triggered a long-lasting excitement in the boy in summer? So what was the incident that triggered a long-lasting excitement for the boy? What was the incident? Sambhavam. What was it? The fight between the cobra and the mongoose. Question. How did the cobra regard his opponent? Were they true warriors? Cobra knew only too well that the grey mongoose, 3 feet long, was a superb fighter, clever and aggressive. So how did he regard his opponent? Was superb fighter, clever and aggressive. Were they true warriors? Yes, they were true warriors. Warriors means fighters. Okay, now let's have a look at some more questions. What had the boy built on the banyan tree? What did he build on the banyan tree? Yes, a platform. He had built a platform. What would the boy do on the platform? We have seen the same question in another way. Read books. What did the narrator do when he did not feel like reading? What did he do? Look at the world below him. When he did not feel like reading, he would look at the world below him. Why did the narrator feel to go to the pond for a swim? Why did he feel he should go to the pond for a swim? He was feeling drowsy. So he thought that he should go to the pond for a swim. And now you have an assignment. The boy feels excited when he looks at the world below him from the banyan tree. Prepare a diary entry. So you have to make a diary entry of the boy telling about the feelings when he looks at the world below him from the banyan. Okay, dear students, thank you and have a wonderful day. You can do the assignments and send it to me. And moreover, you have to read the textbook, the part which we have taken. And if you have any doubts or any clarifications, you can WhatsApp to me personally so that I can clear it out. Thank you and have a nice day.